right, we welcome University of Southern California head coach Lindsay Gottlieb, JuJu Watkins, and Kaitlyn Davis. Coach, we'll have you open.
I think obviously words aren't going to feel like it does it justice. What an epic evening for women's college basketball, for our program, for the LA rivalry. Michelle, you asked the other day about is this the best tournament ever? I hope we added to that and maybe put an exclamation point on it. UCLA is so good. There's not a lot of like between the schools, and nothing bad. It's just their rivalry, but there's a ton of respect. And I think it was a battle. I'm looking at the stat sheet, and obviously we won the first quarter decidedly, and then they chipped away, won the next three. For us to be able to persevere in the double overtime, I think it says a ton about the heart and toughness of our team. Our strength coach is amazing. I think everyone hung in there. I cannot say enough words about these two. The stat sheet does not define and properly show how their guts are still lying on that court. I said this in the postgame thing. Katie chose to go to Columbia. She could go anywhere. She, along with her teammates, changed that program. They're a winning program now. She came to us with student loans. I mean, they pay their way, and I've been there. And to come here and do what she's doing on this level is unbelievable. And you guys you heard me talk a lot about Ju. Talent notwithstanding, I mean, we think she's the most talented kid around, but she is a winning player who cares about winning and is so tough to play through a sprained ankle or anything. I'm just proud of the whole group. It was a team win, but this is an epic one, and we know we're not done. We have the privilege to play on Sunday. Probably the only person happier than us is Tara that this game went to multiple overtimes. So we'll get ourselves together and try and get ready to do that.
We're going to start here.
Tyler DeLuca, no cap space. JuJu, first off, we saw you go down with the ankle. How you feeling? And also, we saw you on the bench. You tie your shoes, you go back in the tunnel, do a little running, and then you check back in. Can you kind of take me through those moments of deciding that you were going to come back in this game and try and win it for your team?
Yeah, I mean, even when I went out, I knew I had to get back in because I think my team needed me. But, I mean, it's just an ankle, nothing I'm not used to. I feel great, ready to play on Sunday. I might be pushing it a little bit.
I did go to watch JuJu at Sierra Canyon High School.
Same thing happened. It's crazy.
It was it the early morning workout? It was like a 6 a.m. workout. And she's in practice. It's like a preseason thing. And she rolls her ankle. And I'm like, first of all, I was worried. And then I'm like, we're here at 6 a.m. and she's going to sit out the rest. And she comes back in it. And I'm like, this kid is not normal, right? Like, she could have sat out. She has played through things before, so I can't say I was surprised.
We're going to go right here in the back.
Duke New win with the LA Times. Kaitlyn, a huge offensive rebound late off the JuJu missed free throw. Just how would you kind of describe your mindset, especially late in this game? It's winning time. It's March. You guys need big plays, and you came up with several of them late.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, our team has been through it very recently, actually. So I felt like all of us collectively came into it with a confidence, especially when the game is that tight, knowing that we can lock in and we can get the win, because we've done it before. And so I think that's just mainly was the mindset, just confidence in knowing that we can pull out the win.
Willie? Ryan?
Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Linz, I think you sort of answered it when you talked about Sierra, visiting her at Sierra. But when you look at the last 2 days, not just tonight, I mean, battered, bruised, bloodied. She still had the bandage on her elbow from last night, and then everything tonight. Did just the last 2 days, though, the evolution of toughness? I mean, I know you said you weren't surprised, but it just seems as if the target was not just on her back, it was just everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, she had a big old knot on her head last night, the bloody, the things like that. And look, it's not about, at some point we got to keep her from taking this much contact, right? I don't actually think it's the way it's supposed to be. She's an incredibly physical player, great body control. I think she gets a lot of N1s that aren't called because she doesn't fall down because she's so strong in movement. And eventually I think she'll get officiated the way that she should. But for the toughness factor, I just there's not enough words to say that given what we've seen this year, she continues to impress us with her demeanor. Can I tell about the shoes? I mean, we had pregame meal today, and we went into like a side room after, and she got shoes. Like, she bought shoes for the entire team and the entire staff and the entire support staff. I didn't know this was coming. This was her, and probably with the help of her mom to organize it, just to show gratitude for the team. I mean, like, she's just different. And I think that's why the team has her back so much, right? And that when she picked up her fourth, Coach B actually said in the huddle, in terms of we want to protect her and not get the foul, she's like, she has her back, let's have her back. And they were all like, let's go. So it's something really special. And I've said a lot, the maturity of the rest of our players make it work. And we want this season to continue on for as long as possible because it feels special.
If I may follow up, JuJu, just to piggyback off that, for you, you said that you're used to this, right? You've been going through this. But did the last 2 days feel maybe, because there were back-to-back nights, some of the roughest that you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, this is my first March, so I'm being thrown in the fire. So, I mean, I'm taking it one day at a time, but it's just a great feeling, regardless of the physicality and whatever's going on. I'm just glad to be a part of it. Like Coach said before the game, like, we're blessed to be in this position. So many teams are going home every day, so it's important that we leave it all out on the floor. Whatever happens with the refs, whatever happens, no call, it's game time, so.
Okay, front row, we'll go Alexa, Holly, and then Michelle.
Alexa Philippou, ESPN. Lindsay, I know obviously the game just finished, but have you been able to reflect on the fact this program's now back in the tournament championship game for the first time in a decade? You're doing it this year with JuJu and this kind of new look team, and just how incredible that is just to be able to get to that stage against a team like Stanford to go for the title too.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely haven't been able to kind of process what happened in this game. I feel like there's so many moments I'm going to watch the film and be like, we were talking about something in the locker room, and Kenzie's like, was that in the first overtime or regulation? The KD offensive rebound play, we do call that Ivy special. That's what won us the Arizona game, where she kicked it out to KP, and this time it was KP to Kenzie, so we're going to put that in the playbook. I feel like it's not lost on us what we're doing, because first of all, every year's different, and every season is kind of a lifetime, as Coach K said in his book. And so when it's so enjoyable to come to work every day and you feel like you're having an impact bigger than just, what we're doing, it definitely is special in that sense. I've said this before, that I think one of the coolest things about the attention that we're getting, the attention that JuJu's getting, the team, is that it shines a light on how amazing Cheryl Miller was, and Tina and Lisa and Coop and the McGee twins. Like, it just brings them back in the spotlight that they were and are the greatest of all time. Like, they're not just the greatest USC players, they're the greatest women's players. And because of how great this young woman is and her teammates, it's shining a light on that. And we're honored to be part of this kind of resurgence, or whatever, this moment in women's basketball. So that's not lost on us, even though we're trying to just do what we need to do for tomorrow. So we're going to obviously focus on a game plan for Stanford. But to your question, yeah, I do think there's a bigger thing at play, and we're really enjoying that. And I'm grateful every day to be in this situation with this group.
Holly?
JuJu, there's a couple of moments in the game, like you're knocked down, you're crawling along the ground to try to get back into play. You're playing with 4 fouls in an overtime, and you get in for the tie-up. How can you help us understand and describe this competitive piece of you, where it comes from, how it lives in these moments?
Honestly, I think it just comes from the team. Like, having so many, like, great people around me, always trusting in me and believing in me, it makes me who I am. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this team. And we're talking about it like Ivies, like this is their last year. Like, we don't know what's going to happen next year, so we're really taking advantage of everything and the space we're in, the team we have right now. And we owe it to our seniors, Otto, and the Ivies. We just got to play hard every game, and that's why I play so hard.
Michelle?
Lindsay, this one's for you. So Corey was in here talking about evaluating the things that they need to do better. And, you're on the other side, you're on the winning side of a very narrow victory, and you've got a big game on Sunday, and then obviously the tournament after that. How much evaluation, like what would you say from this game are things that you all need to do better, that you need to take to the next game and into the tournament?
Yep, I mean, it was this kind of like bruising physical game. Nothing about it was particularly pretty except for the beauty of toughness. I mean, we only had 10 turnovers against a UCLA team that puts a lot of heat. I'm proud of that. Obviously, we've started the last 2 games hot and kind of let teams back in. So how can we execute better when they bring stuff? I think we had some scoring droughts there. I thought defensively we were pretty solid and locked in. They pose a lot of problems. They're really good. As we know, they're have been and probably still should be in contention for a 1 seed, right? They're really good, so they test you on every level. I would say we missed a couple shots. I think that we're capable of making. There was a little stretch where they got some offensive rebounds continuously, although over the course of 50 minutes, I mean, with how well the offensive rebound, we did a pretty good job. But I would say just execution and getting to what we want and making sure we don't have scoring droughts like we did.
Okay, we're going to take 2 questions on this side, and then we'll come to the far corner over there, and then back here.
Hey guys, Luke Evans, Orange County Register. Lindsay, not to keep peppering you with JuJu questions, I'm just curious, like, there are a couple times she went down physically, like, writhing with the ankle. Like, was there ever a moment in your mind that you thought, like, oh crap, we're going to be playing the rest of this game without her, that sort of thing? Like, what was going through your head?
I mean, the initial injury happened like a minute in, and obviously I sort of prepared for the possibility, right, mentally. But like I said, she's not like a kid who 5 times a game is down and we're helping her out and then she's back, right? So I knew it was significant, but I also wasn't as shocked as I might have been that she came back, just knowing her toughness level. But yeah, I'm always kind of preparing. Okay, what's next? Who's up next? And that's what you have to do. But I guess my gut feeling was that if there was a possible way she could come back, she would.
And Corey mentioned, you said in contention for a possible number 1 seed. Corey said there could be 3 number 1 seeds in this conference. I mean, firstly, do you agree with that? And then secondly, just, how much of this game is kind of just an ode to the Pac-12 and how incredible the conference has been this year?
Yeah, I mean, we've all said it all year. I think it's made us all better. When I first started watching film of UCLA back for the first time we were going to play them, I wasn't finding a lot of weaknesses. I just knew we were going to have to be really good. And the first time we weren't good enough, and we got better from there. So it challenged us to be better. And so, I haven't dug into everyone's resume that the way I would have maybe if we're on the bubble and you're living and dying by a net rating. But I don't know that, and I've done that. I've been there. Obviously, South Carolina's a 1 seed, and after that, it's been kind of up in the air, and Ohio State lost today. So if you're watching Pac-12 basketball and the gauntlet that we've all gone through, I don't think it's unfathomable at all to think there could be 3 1 seeds. I mean, I don't know how the committee will see it, but I don't think that's, too far-fetched.
In the back over here, and then we'll come back to Eden on this side.
D'Angelo Scruggs, FI 360. Hey, Ju, can you just talk to me about the battle with Clarice? We know you're a 2-way player, but can we talk about how the defensive matchup with you guarding her and Charisma, I'm sorry, and her guarding you on the other end?
Yeah, I mean, she's a great defensive player. I think going into the game, we played against that before. I played against that before, just seeing them a couple times. So I knew what to expect coming into the game. Very physical, and I just knew that I had to play at my pace and really try to make the best decision every time.
Eden Lassie, Yahoo Sports. Lindsay, this is for you. You mentioned yesterday that you thought the Oregon State-Colorado game looked like an Elite Eight game. What did this one feel like to you?
I mean, I feel like it could be a Final Four game, right? I mean, it just the level. I hope we're not facing a team as good as UCLA prior to that, right? So yeah, I mean, it felt like the atmosphere was amazing. Obviously we brought the Crosstown Showdown to Vegas. I thought the crowd was great. Thought there were big plays on every side, and it was just an unbelievable basketball game.
Back corner there.
Emma Bachelari, Sports Illustrated. JuJu, when the buzzer hit, it looked like the first person that you hugged was Otto, and I know you just mentioned her talking about seniors. I'm just curious if you could share a little bit of what that initial moment was like with her right after it was final.
I feel like Otto's have always, we always find each other in big moments, so that's my dog. My roommate, my best friend, just she's really helped me this year, just getting through everything, being a freshman and just coming into it, not really knowing what to expect, and she's kind of helped me down. And so I'm grateful for her. Shout out Otto.
It's Otto's birthday.
Right there in the back. It's her birthday.
Yeah.
Everybody
She's
sing happy
here. There
birthday.
she is,
It's
yeah.
her birthday.
It's her birthday on Sunday. So she's been
Sunday.
talking about playing in the championship game for like 2 months. And I'm like, Otto, can I get through practice on Tuesday? And she's like, Pac-12 championship game, March 10th. And so we've all had it circled. So we got there for her. Yes.
All right, we're on this side, and then we'll come in the far back.
Thomas Johnson, Daily Trojan. Coach, Clarice Akunwafo only played 8 minutes today, but by my count, Lauren Betts did not score a single point when Clarice was on the floor. What do you think about her game allows her to guard Betts so well? Because it was a similar story the last time you guys matched up.
Yep. And I would imagine we'll also see a lot of Clarice on Sunday, right, with their size. She did great there, too. She is an incredible athlete, like just pound for pound physically, right? And she's a great individual defender. And I went into the game saying they have one Lauren Betts and we have Rhea, C, and KD, right, who can battle her. But it allows you to play a little bit of one-on-one coverage against her because she's so big and such a good positional defender. She knows her role. She plays her role as well as anybody. And, we've talked about this, as much attention as there is on our starters, and there should be, right? Like, Ju carries a huge load. Our Ivy transfers and Rhea, we put a lot on their shoulders. But our bench really matters, right? Like, Kayla Williams has won us games off the bench. Taylor Bigby knocking down threes. Clarice, like, we don't beat UCLA the first time. We probably don't beat them tonight without her minutes. So, the Stanford game, we value everybody. We know what they can bring, and I think they're really understanding what their roles are and buying into them, and that's huge for us.
Right here in the front.
Tia Reed, Blaze Radio. JuJu, everyone talks about how great of an offensive player you are, but you're also everywhere on the defensive end, steals, blocks, incredibly active on the boards, hustle. How much pride do you take in that part of your game?
Yeah, I mean, Coach B, she's been on my tail about just being better on defense. I had some games where I kind of didn't lock in fully in the game plan, so just making sure that I'm in the green for the rest of the season, really. So I'm really locking in on defense, making sure that every possession matters on both ends.
Far back.
For Coach, Gavin Carlson, Daily Bruin. Before you in here, Coach Close said that there needs to be maybe some sort of system in place to have officials maybe hold themselves accountable. I don't want to get you in trouble. I saw you at one point sort of say similar things to the refs when JuJu got fouled a couple of times. Just what's your reaction maybe to the thought of having officials need to speak after games or something like that?
I mean, I've suggested the one thing that could be helpful, like when I was in the NBA, they do a pool report, like the last 2-minute pool report, where you just get an explanation. I mean, I don't think you can have them explain 50 minutes of calls, obviously. I mean, I know they're doing the absolute best they can. This was a physical game. This is a hard game to officiate. I just want them to understand, right, like we have different players who do different things. And, if, for example, if JuJu gets fouled 14 times, she should go to the free throw line that many times. But I think a pool report at the end would be neat, but I don't think any other kind of thing is realistic in terms of having them speak about calls, which we just want the officiating to be at the level of gameplay. And I think they have a really hard job, and everyone's got to battle through it.
Sabrina, we'll go Sabrina, and then final question, Lindsay. Oh, I apologize. Right down here first.
Right on.
Sorry about that.
Tyler DeLuca, No Cat Space. JuJu, you mentioned a little bit earlier about kind of going through your first March, going through the grind of it. Obviously, these rivalry games are already intense, even in the regular season. For you, what kind of elevated it in this game in comparison to those two regular season matchups that upped the intensity even more? Obviously, more stakes on the line, but in the actual game itself, what were the differences that you were feeling?
Yeah, I think a lot comes with like a rivalry, I guess, just to be able to have this opportunity to, like Coach said, bring LA to Vegas. It's just a great atmosphere, and I don't know, to my knowledge, I don't know if that's been done before on this stage, this late in the finals or whatever. But it's just a great game. We know that they bring a lot. We bring a lot too, and so everybody's pumped up. I mean, the goal is to win every time, but I guess when you see familiar faces, that fuels you up a little more too.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. JuJu, I imagine when you committed to USC, you had an idea that there was going to be some build involved, you know, just the way this program has been over the past few years. But did you ever think that in your first year you'd already have the opportunity to compete for a championship on Sunday? And, like, just what has this pace been like for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did not think this would happen this soon. But I guess timing is everything, and I'm glad that we're here. This group, I mean, it means everything, and I'm just blessed, honestly. But yeah, better than anything I could have hoped for, really.
All right, I think we're going to wrap here.
Lindsay Chanel, USA Today. Ju, we've talked about really physical game today, but you're used to that. You get everyone's best defender. How does your bun never move? The people want to know. Can you give us a product
I love
breakdown?
this last question. I'm going to say holding spray. I'll let you know that. Yeah.
It's coming. We got an NIL thing coming.
We'll see. I don't know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, everyone.